welcome to my channel, Lana the Educator, your go-to destination for all things education related. I am Lana the Educator. Whether you're a student striving for success, a dedicated teacher, shaping young minds, a paraprofessional making a difference, or an administrator leading the way, this channel is your place for inspiration, insights, and invaluable resources. On this channel, I hope for you to explore with me the latest educational trends, tackle pressing issues facing the education sector, and share stories of triumph and innovation from classrooms around the globe. Today's topic is boosting teacher confidence, especially new teacher confidence. So you're a qualified teacher, you've got new certifications, you are ready to begin your journey in the classroom, and now that you're here, things aren't going as expected. It's probably been weeks and you find that your students have been performing poorly, they've become disengaged, or they seriously misbehave. And you really thought that you had it figured out and you were well prepared, but you really didn't expect this from yourself. You didn't expect to not be as confident as you thought you'd be. You really thought that you were doing the right things, but everything that has been happening has caused your confidence to plummet. Don't worry, you're not alone. You really stumbled upon an issue that many teachers face, which is building and maintaining their confidence in the classroom. And it's an issue that pops up all the time. Less and less so, I think, as you become more experienced, but definitely as you're a new teacher and you're passionate about your job and you want to get things done and you have everything planned out and yet things are not going as you expected. So there are many factors that might affect your confidence, cause your confidence to plummet, right? But it's important for us to nurture our confidence especially as new teachers, in the same way it's important for you to build up your confidence. So yes, you might have setbacks. The lesson did not go as planned. The children did not behave as you thought they would. The children did not meet the outcomes of the lesson, or many of them were absent for what you had planned, or you just having a bad day, or there was some issue that caused, your class to not go as well as you as possibly could. And these things cause your confidence to be shaken sometimes, as well as other factors you may be recalling based on your teaching experience. But confidence is crucial because really it enhances our teaching abilities. And in the long run, it really contributes to classroom culture, which extends to school culture. So you can tackle building your confidence using these steps and the approach that I have found work for me in the most part. And the first thing to do is to really start with yourself. Confidence is, people tend to say, fake it till you make it. And at points that can work in the short term, if it's a short term goal, but you really need to work on yourself, not just as an individual, but yourself as teacher, self as educator in front of that classroom. And that means identifying your strengths and weaknesses. It's important to know what you're good at. And this can be accomplished through reflection. I know for many of us, while we were studying to be educators, we would have had to engage in reflective practice, whether this was writing journals after lessons or writing journals after our own classes as we learned. But that's not sustainable most times in the long run to be doing that on a daily basis. So it might help if you reflect just mentally and internally in terms of how you were teaching and what's your approach, and just taking stock of yourself. but this would help you to really identify your strengths and weaknesses, especially if it's accompanied on through regular reflection, which can help you identify those areas for improvement. And that is ultimately going to help you to boost your confidence in your abilities, especially when you look back and you see how much you've grown or how you were willing to change and what worked and what did not work, where you adapted. And then you begin to see those positive outcomes. It will also help if you tell people what you're good at. And I don't mean to go around boasting about what you're good at. Sometimes your people are able to see your strengths before you do, but at some stage you should know where your strengths lie, especially in your content area, or just as a teacher generally. And you can volunteer to do particular things, or you make it known when you plan your coursework, plan your course outlines, plan your scheme of work, that, this is where my strength lies because this has worked for me. So that's another way that you can boost your confidence. You can also tell people where you struggle so that they can support you. And this is going to be explored a little bit more when I talk about the importance of mentor and mentorship in teaching. Another way to boost your confidence will be to practice and prepare. I think by now you would have realized and stumbled upon how much more better your classroom runs, how much more better your lessons go when you actually prepare for them. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. And great teachers really develop over time, but your competence improves through building that ability and competence, which really comes through practice. So planning your work well in advance, planning your lessons, your resources, planning your time, running through things like a script, planning that well in advance, and having a clear idea of what you want to learn can lead to confidence building. Of course, you have to be flexible and adaptable as well, right? Part of boosting your confidence is recognizing that one of your strengths should be working on being adaptable, because it's not a templated and a rigid thing teaching, because you are dealing with people, you're dealing with young people. In most cases, you're dealing with people there to learn. So things will not always go the way that you plan. So you want to be able to prepare also for these things. And this is where your contingency plans come in. So the more knowledgeable you have, and the more knowledgeable you are, is the more prepared you will feel. Making sure to also read the latest innovations and changes that have developed over time in your field and in your content area is a good way to boost your confidence, so that you are up to date with your colleagues, you're up to date with what's taking place in your field, and you're also ensuring that your students are able to stand shoulder to shoulder with any student out there in the world. And this can help you to feel more confident in your abilities. Seeking support and guidance is also enshrined in the idea of having that mentor, but it does not need to be this as yet formalized form of mentorship, although that is important. You should seek to get feedback from experienced educators, because this helps to foster a supportive environment where you as a new teacher, or even a new teacher in the sense of you've gone to a new workplace or been promoted, when you seek feedback, you kind of establish a supportive environment where you're able to feel comfortable asking questions, and ensuring that both you and those in your environment are able to share their experiences, which can help you build your confidence. As a new teacher, try to pair yourself as well with a mentor. But also, if you're listening to this and you are in administration, try to also pair your new teachers with someone who is more experienced as well. It can be tricky in the field of teaching because people are busy with their own work and with their own classes and just with their own schedule. So your timetable might not match up with others. So you would have to really seek them out So trying to pair up with someone more experienced can really help you navigate challenges and build confidence in your teaching abilities. Of course, you must be realistic in the same way that you have to be adaptive. And this means that you have to set realistic goals. You have to provide a way to measure success, and goal setting helps you to do that, because in the long run it's going to encourage this feeling in the belief of your ability to overcome any challenge that you might face. So goal setting really allows for the adaptability that I mentioned before, where you can really adjust to any approach as needed. And as you start to believe in your ability to overcome these challenges, your confidence will increase, because you will say, okay, it seemed like the end of the world when, a conflict broke out in class in the middle of teaching, or they didn't get past step 2 in the lesson. Having been through these things previously, you'll be able to say, okay, I went back around and I did it again and I persevered. And that is really going to build up a kind of stoic mentality where you are able to overcome challenges and boost your confidence. Establishing positive and a supportive relationship with students is going to be one of the most important aspects of boosting your confidence as a teacher, especially as a new teacher. When students trust you, when students respect you, it can not only boost your confidence and your ability to help them to learn, but it can also boost in the long run your classroom management. It can help with the discipline in school and eventually impact the school culture. So knowing that you have a connection with students can help new teachers feel more confident in handling the emotional demands of teaching. Building these positive relationships with the students also leads to better classroom management, as I said before, because you are learning how to provide structure in this autonomy supportive way. And students generally become more interested and more engaged when you are able to do that. So that's an important aspect of building your confidence. Sometimes you need to put the academic work aside and try to focus on the interpersonal, the emotional, there's the human aspect of teaching where you're able to build those connections with your students. Very, very important, even though I'm saying it at the end here. You need to constantly be aware that you need to engage in self-care. Yes, in the beginning, as a new teacher, things are going to be hectic, or if you had to onboard yourself, as I covered in my previous podcast, things can be very hectic when you're learning the culture and the environment and trying to balance everything all at once, even the pace of work. But you need to take care of yourself, both physically and mentally. If you are not operating at your highest level, at your 100%, 90%, the best of your ability, then your work really can't be done. You can't be as effective as you would like to be. So you need to get enough rest. You need to exercise regularly, try to get some sort of regimen. It doesn't need to be anything extensive, don't need to go preparing for a marathon or anything like that. But just moving and getting some form of exercise throughout the day is important for you and your self-care, because it really helps you to manage the stress that comes with teaching. So effective stress management is also very important for teachers, because we are constantly dealing with human beings, different personalities, both with our students and with our co-workers. So a healthy work-life balance as well can contribute to that greater confidence in the classroom. I think over the years, every term, the conversation about whether you should take work home always comes up. And sometimes, really, if you are in this profession, you know that it is difficult to get it all done within the school day, within the periods that they have there, because you have such a rigid schedule of work, and there are always external and extenuating circumstances that come up. So yes, we might be tempted to take work at home. I would suggest that you go with what works for you, but I want you to be aware and to guard against making it a serious habit, because you do want to make time for your family as well, and make time for yourself and your hobbies and your mental health, just to be able to rest, because teachers' minds sometimes go at 100 miles per hour. So overall, I really want you to understand that in the long run, investing in confidence and in the confidence of the new teachers not only benefits them individually, if you're listening as an administrator, if you're listening as a new teacher, you benefit as well, because it contributes to just building up a positive mindset, not only in your school environment, but for yourself as well. I want to say to you that you matter, you inspire, you build confidence. And I want to thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to press that like button. You have been listening to Lana the Educator. Until next time.